What is up, YouTube? Jonny B here again today. And we're going to be bringing you a video on a little Tacoma build. You guys loved the last Tacoma build that I did, a little white one that I restored partially. And it was an awesome little truck, and I miss it. So we ended up getting another one so we could have as a permanent one, be like a little shop truck, be a daily driver for my brother, and just have a truck in general, because you always need a truck no matter what. I love cars, but the truck is always needed. So that's one of the things that we needed to get. And right now, trucks are super expensive. It's super hard to get. These little Tacomas, you're looking around like 10 grand for like a really nice one. And they weren't worth that much before. They were like 5 grand. So prices have skyrocketed on these. These are pretty much gold at this point, and this one's literally the gold color. We found like a really good deal on this one. Neighbor had it. He had it sitting for 2 years with an engine that was messed up. The bottom end was blown. And he actually had a brand new head built on it, put it all together, paid the mechanics. Bottom end ended up being bad. Paid some other people to take it out, said they were gonna fix it, never did. So the engine's just out. Like, this thing's just been sitting for almost 2 years. I think we're like short of a month or two. And we ended up picking it up. So we bought it. And you guys can see a little clip here of when we were bringing it. We bought a truck. Let's go ahead and tow it to the shop so we can throw an engine inside of it. And I'll show you guys more of the truck, but here's the engine bay. Here's the front end. It's an 02. It's got 150,000 miles. It is a clean title. It is the king cab version, so it's got the little extended cab. And then we picked up an engine, so we have Angel over here. Right there. He's over here taking apart what we need for the engine to be able to transfer in the new engine that we just bought. We picked one up with 124,000 miles. And we're gonna go ahead and toss it in and get this thing running within a week. So it'll probably all be in one video when it's running. We have the engine here. This is the new engine. You can see it's got all the junkyard marks. We're gonna be replacing the spark plugs. We're gonna be replacing the water pump since it's already out. We're gonna be resealing the oil pan, new oil change, obviously, the new filter. We put in some of the parts that were on the old engine. This was broken on this engine, so we swapped over the alternator. We're about to put pretty much all of that back together before we throw it into the truck. The truck has the AC compressor in it and the power steering, so that's going to be installed when it's in there. We're taking off the rear main seal. We're going to be replacing that. Might as well, since we're already here. It's a cheap piece, easy to replace, especially when the engine's out. So we have Angel out there. He's cleaning up some of the flywheel. That's going to be going back here, so that way it's all nice and clean. And I'm gonna be replacing this water pump. Super simple when it's out of the car, so I figured we'd do it. We bought brand new OEM Toyota parts, so we got a brand new OEM Toyota water pump. Got a thermostat for it as well, some spark plugs straight from Toyota, got oil filter from Toyota, and a belt. They only had one in stock. We got this rear main seal. So since they only had one of the belts in stock, I went ahead and ordered just some from AutoZone. We got an Optima battery for it, some coolant there, brand new radiator, just a bunch of stuff like that to kind of get the build going, or the rebuild going, I guess, because of the blown engine. So once that is all put together here, we're gonna go ahead and throw it in the truck and see if we can get everything to work. This is gonna be exciting to see how fast we can get this Tacoma running. So this is day 2. The first day we were just bringing it. The second day, we're putting it, the engine together and cleaning up everything. So let's put this engine how it needs to be before we go ahead and toss it in. I just got the water pump off, and look at that. Looks like they took really good care of this truck and had it with antifreeze as well, that the inside of the engine is super clean. Wow, that's really nice to see. This is looking good too. Looks like the gasket was kind of losing some of its plastic sealer, so it's a good thing we're replacing it. This, we're not sure if they had replaced it at one point or if they hadn't, so then we're gonna go ahead and replace it anyway, since it might have 124K miles. Here's the new thermostat going in. The old one was pretty bad, so one of the main things that you want to replace when you're throwing in a new engine, just to make sure that it's not going to overheat. This little like $10 piece can risk your whole engine. So it's always a good idea to replace it while we're here. We got the flywheel all cleaned up and painted. And this is one of the plates that goes on the back. It goes in between the transmission and the engine. So the one that was on this engine was actually a little bit bent up. So we went ahead, cleaned them up, and then painted them so that they'd look nice and new and clean versus being all oily. So looking good. So now we gotta continue with this. The rear main seal is coming off. Doesn't look too bad, but might as well change it. It's inexpensive to change, and we already have the engine out with the trans off. So now we can go ahead and put the new one. So the way I do it, I'm gonna clean up around here. I'm gonna go ahead and kind of center it. Then I'm gonna use that one with a hammer to kind of like slowly tap it around. That way we can get it back into seal. Got the oil pan off. Checked the oil a bit, and it looks super nice, super clean. Everything looks good. Inside, no metal shavings whatsoever. So that's a big, big plus. I took off the filter. That's what I was able to check. And now you go ahead and put in this new Toyota filter. I think that just adds a lot to how an engine looks when you have like an OEM Toyota filter. Obviously it's the best stuff you can get, but it just looks good being on there. So we're gonna go ahead and reseal it. As you can see here, this is the back of the sump. It's caked in oil, and we don't want that. So this is really, really hard to reseal when it's inside of the Tacoma, mainly because the subframe passes through here and you have all kinds of stuff. So now that we have the engine out, it's the optimal time to do it. And before we put in the rear main seal, we're gonna go ahead and remove this aluminum bit of the rear main seal so we can go ahead and reseal that at the same time, just to make sure that this isn't gonna be having any oil leaks. Look at that Toyota belt on there, looks good. Got the new rear main seal installed, got it all cleaned up as well as the mounting surface, and as well as the mounting surface for the oil pan is all cleaned up now. So I'm using some the right stuff. It's the ultra gray Permatex gasket, so we can go ahead and seal this up. So here we are, we got the flywheel on, we got this plate that goes in between the engine and the trans on. Obviously we have the new rear main seal with all new gasket, and then we went ahead and bolted it on. So everything's looking perfect. I'm excited. So this is ready to mount up to the transmission once we get that in there. Now we're finishing up cleaning on the oil pan, and we're gonna put that on. So after getting the engine ready, we went ahead and sat it in. It being a 4-cylinder, it's super easy to go in, mainly because you have a ton of room. So we finally got it in. Now we got to line it up with the transmission, and then we're gonna go ahead and bolt it up. It's a little bit hard to see back there, but the transmission is not connected quite yet. So let's go ahead and hook that up, and then we can plug everything and hopefully get it started. We got the Tacoma all cleaned up. We went ahead and removed that bit that was there. It was like a bug deflector, and we went ahead and removed the camper that it had in the back, cleaned it up. Now it's looking much, much nicer. The interior also was super dirty. There we go. Got that cleaned up, and it looks like a brand new truck on the inside. It was just really, really dusty, and then the seat had a little bit of black spots on it, but now it's super clean. It's looking good, and it's running like it should. Cold AC and everything. So after we got the Tacoma running, passed it in emissions, inspection, and getting registered and everything, we went ahead and ordered these little Fender Flares. They're like $200. We just went ahead and threw them on. They literally just bolt on to the factory location where like the inner fender liner is at. So super simple. We also bought some headlights for it. We also bought these little pieces that are missing. We just have to get them paint matched. So the headlights are black housing, and we just want them to be much clearer, so they look much better now. We're planning on doing some more mods to the front. Oh, we also replaced the bottom turn signal, and we also replaced this little plastic front air dam. And now the next step is putting on some wheels. We just got these wheels in on Wednesday. Went ahead and bought some tires, and we're putting them on today, Friday. So we got the tires yesterday, Thursday, but we were waiting on the lug nuts because you need special lug nuts for these aero wheels. These aero wheels are super inexpensive. These are real bead locks, so I literally had to put the wheel on. I could mount the wheel on myself and just bolt it on, and then we just had the tire shop go ahead and inflate it and then balance the tires out for us. But we wanted, you know, some good fitment, so we wanted the tires to kind of like stick out with the flares, and they stick out a little bit past, but I think it looks good on trucks. They don't need to be low or anything, so that just looks amazing. Look at that. There's a little bit of a dent there, but that was just there, and also one there. But the truck isn't perfect, and that's what we wanted. We wanted a truck that we're not afraid to drive around and get, you know, maybe little door dings here and there. But those new wheels are looking awesome, so let's go ahead and mount the front ones. Here it is with the new wheel fitment. Look at that. So beefy. We didn't even lower the truck or raise it. It's literally stock height. It got a little bit taller because of the larger diameter tires, and they like barely clear without rubbing. So if we would have gotten any bigger at this height, we would definitely be rubbing. Getting the grill and some pieces painted for the Tacoma around the lights too, the little under light pieces, and then the top part of the bumper. So it'll all be paint matched and make the truck look like a nice sport truck. Got it all clear coated. It's looking nice and shiny. It's gonna look super good on the truck. I'm excited. So the reason we painted the ones around the headlights is because they line up with the center grille, so it needed to get that done. And then those pieces were missing, and this piece was faded. So now it's gonna look super good. So here we are with the pieces that we painted. Look at that, it's looking amazing. Color matched. Obviously we left a little bit of chrome. The rear bumper is chrome, so that's why we have that. And obviously inside the headlights is chrome, and the Toyota emblem left that chrome. It's looking good. You need a little bit of contrast. You don't want to go full color everything. Once you do full color everything, it just doesn't look right. And this looks really, really good, having a little bit of contrast between a light bit of chrome, a light bit of black, and a light bit of brown. It just looks really good. So look at that. There's a little bit of a close-up on the paint. It's really, really close. Obviously it's not exactly the same. This is from a 2002, so this is literally a 19-year-old paint with the fresh paint that we just did. That looks good.